Welcome to Running Down the Clock, where we break down all of this week's big news, events, and controversies from the National Football League. Over the next 45 minutes, we will give you basic fan perspective and opinion on the most important stories and moments happening now. So, let's start the clock. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Running Down the Clock. I'm Tyler Walzak. I'm here with Poya Ricey. As always, Poya, we had great games this weekend, but let's start with the Thursday night game, which we all thought was going to be a super shitty game with the shitty Raiders, your shitty Raiders, versus the very shitty ex-Super Bowl winning current title holders of the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this game was important because they signed Baker Mayfield 2 days before the game, 2 days before game day, and he looked like he wasn't doing shit all day. Let's actually, you know what? Let's do something because the first quarter, Devontae Adams had a no-look catch. Did you see that?
I did.
Did you see the picture with Jalen Ramsey's hands blocking his face, like blocking Devontae Adams' face?
I missed the photo, but I'm sure
man.
it's
Also,
epic.
I'll put it up on. I'll get whoever does our Instagram to put that up there for us.
Social media guru.
Our social media person who basically just has to listen to the episodes on the Thursdays that come out and then frantically look for things to post because we do not do anything.
You think they're listening? They're waiting for a text or an email from us. They're not listening.
I guarantee that text and email is not coming. So
I send it to them. I send it to them every time.
Okay. Then so at least one of us is doing our jobs. So anyways, the picture is unbelievable. But then the game after that got very boring with 4 minutes left. No, the Rams were down 13 points, something like that. They're down 2 scores with a minute 45 left.
16-3, was it?
Something like 16-3.
Yeah.
They're down, no timeouts, 1:45 left on the clock, down 2 scores on their own 2-yard line. Baker Babyface Mayfield, this is his new name now, comes back. There was a lot of flags that helped them get to that point. Sure, whatever. There was one of the Raiders players, defensive players, knocked the ball to cause a unsportsmanlike penalty after a play. Very stupid penalty.
And was that Crosby? Wasn't that Crosby?
I don't know who it was. No, it wasn't Crosby.
He got a bad penalty too.
There was a couple bad penalties on that. And with Baker Mayfield coming in, he threw a bunch of balls to Ben Sporadic. I have no idea who this guy is. I have not watched a lot of Rams games, but
and Van Wilder. What's his name?
Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson
Had a great pass to Van Jefferson to win the game. And Matthew Stafford was loving it, every second of it. Baker Mayfield, probably his best game as a pro in terms of us remembering it.
That was a statement game for him. Like a guy who has been counted out deservingly. Like you come in with every opportunity as a Heisman Trophy winner, first overall pick. He had every opportunity to start, get things going. He had good receivers. He had good defenses. He had a lot. He was just a little bit lackluster all the time when he played. He was never exciting. At least that game. And I think one of the commentators kind of said it best. He's just kind of, and I hate to use this kind of term because I know you're not a fan of the guy. We're not a fan of him on the show, like the Brett Favre, the gunslinger. Don't think too much, just fucking fling it.
But there's so many other guys you could say than Brett Favre as gunslinger. I would even take Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre if you're going to say gunslinger.
Sure. But that's what I mean. Just, I think almost not.
Rich Gannon would be, you could say Rich Gannon if you want to say gunslinger.
Love those old Raiders. That's a heartbreaking Raiders loss, though, in that Super Bowl that I really wanted Jerry Rice to get one against the Tampa Bay, but 2005, I think it was. But anyway, we've gone on so many tangents just there. The whole thing with Baker Mayfield there, I think in that game, I'm not saying this would be his entire NFL career, not knowing too much of the playbook, not overthinking any of it, worked in his favor.
Yeah.
Kept it simple.
Just play. Just go out there and play.
Yeah, just go out there and play, and it worked. And again, that's a Raiders team who's notoriously this year given up so many leads. It's frustrating to watch. Even it's heartbreaking, even as a non-Raiders fan, it's just like, wow, what is going on with those guys?
Especially
because they're slipping away from them.
Yeah, they've been good the last 3 or 4 weeks.
They had a shot at a playoffs, which just went out the window with that loss.
Yeah,
it's over. Especially with Chargers winning.
Oh, it's
but the Other little side story that I don't know if you saw about the St. Louis Rams. Did you see that the city of St. Louis got some big payout from the Rams for
Oh,
their
really?
illegal move? I guess it was because the city had invested a whole bunch of stuff into the infrastructure of the stadium or
Yeah, they
whatever.
probably built the stadium. They probably used the taxpayers of St.
Yeah,
Louis to
something they
build
had
the
like a
stadium.
mall built into the stadium. They had all this stuff, which now is all gone to waste, and they just picked up and moved the team on them. So now they got some sort of big payout that split four ways into four different groups or whatever. But
Yeah, makes sense.
anyway,
You can't just
did
make the you just can't make the whole city pay for the stadium and then just bail. It's
yeah.
not good business.
Well, it is great business for the Rams. They got a Super Bowl. They got a brand
Yeah.
new multi-billion-dollar stadium or whatever, that SoFi Stadium. But anyway, Baker Mayfield. Did that make you a little bit of a Baker Mayfield fan?
No, not at all.
Nothing.
If he
You
plays
still
like
couldn't.
if he just plays like that last 2 minutes his entire like the rest of his career, just play like nothing to lose, just throw it, simple plays, just find the open guy, make a play. Maybe he still has a career left as a like he's right now he's proving that he can play in the league. For everyone that says he'll never be in the NFL again, that team was pumped up for him in the dressing room at the end of the game. Like they were very much fans of Baker Mayfield on that sideline.
Yeah, how can you not be? Like probably that's your highlight of your season. The team, even if they win out, even if
Oh, they're dead.
yeah, even if their division loses out the rest of the season,
Yeah, they're
they're
dead.
not going anywhere. It's
No,
over.
they're dead.
So
Another team that's dead in that division. I mean, this is just a segue point. Because I'm done talking about that Thursday night game. We can talk about it forever with Baker Mayfield. But the Arizona Cardinals
the
are
Arizona Cardinals are not
dead.
good.
So there's three men on the Arizona offensive starting line that weren't even on 90-man rosters to begin training camps. That means out of the every team had 90 men on the roster, out of those like 2,900 players, these guys were not able to make a team. And they have three of them starting on their line right now. And on top of that, Kyler Murray, torn ACL.
The grass monster got him.
Yeah, that's right. They play on grass.
Yeah.
So what is the deal then? Is it grass? Is it the turf? Or is it just injuries?
Well, no, like we've been saying all season, the entire NFL season, they have to find a way to make all the stadiums turf. That's the best way to do it, right?
They all
Grass
gotta be
is getting.
turf. They all gotta be
I
turf.
mean, injuries happen. Come on, injuries happen.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about grass is, there's a little soft spot. It gives out. Your knee kind of goes a little bit. It creates a little divot. It can happen. Accidents can happen regardless, right?
So here's what interesting theory I heard from.
But it's softer on everything.
Yeah, for sure. No, I
There's
get. I
less
it's
injuries on grass. That's all.
there's just much less injuries on grass.
Yeah, but it can still
Um,
happen.
and obviously everyone knew this one was on grass because in Arizona and they famously pull it out of the stadium, grow it, bring it back in. Um, Now I heard an interesting take from AQ Shipley on the Pat McAfee show today. He said that it was my cleats, my cause.
Well, timeout, timeout. I
My
call it
cause.
timeout. I'm calling it timeout. You're listening to other football podcasts than us? I feel like you're cheating on me or something. Like
Where do you think I get all the information to talk about this? I'm not watching the games. I'm
I
just
thought you're
watching other
googling.
podcasts.
I thought you're googling it last minute, like I am.
This
5 minutes before we record.
is a great use of a timeout. But
We haven't used one in so long. I felt I had to force one in there some
yeah,
reason.
that just means I have to edit the sound taken.
Yeah, that sound is always so loud. It catches me off guard. It
I
scares the shit out of me.
still haven't figured out the volume settings on this thing yet.
Neither have I.
Um, Anyways, on the Pat McAfee show, it's like so this week and I think next week are the my cleats, my cause, where like they can put a certain cause onto their cleats, but these guys don't get those cleats until 2 days before the game. So a lot of them don't have them fully worked in or fully comfortable with them yet. So they only wear them for a quarter, and they say I got to get rid of these cleats. Like I just like not moving the same. So he just brought up the point like that does affect some people, and it does could lead to injuries. Whether this is it or not, we'll never know. But that is a scenario that kind of like made my ears perk up at least.
Do I have to call another timeout to say something? Or can I just like make a point about
I
that?
think you can just talk.
Yeah, okay. Forget how it all works. You'd think though they'd know the type of model. I get it; they're not going to be painted. The artist hasn't done their thing yet. But can they not just break the shoes in as like the blanks, wear them for training, and then send them off? Clean them, then get them clean, send them off to the artist to like paint them.
Well, I
Like,
think a lot of guys wear the regular ones that they wear like all season. They wear them for like 3 weeks and then they get new ones.
I understand, but I mean,
But
I
you're
feel
not
like
wrong. That would be
you
a part.
could
That would be a good
just
solve.
you could just get your cleats cleaned, and then they're actual your game worn cleats over this period of time, right? You train in them for like a couple weeks. I just feel, and again, I don't
There's a
know.
better
I
way to
never
do it.
know.
There's a better way to work it in.
It seems to me there's an easy solve here.
Yeah. The only reason that backfires against you, and again, I know nothing, is that the two guys who brought this up were ex NFL players. So you think that they would also know.
Yeah, but it also could be that they have a separate sponsorship, like the model that they get to wear isn't the regular model of cleats that they wear. These are special edition, like, oh, this manufacturer, like they paid for this model to be the one that goes out.
So for
Like,
this certain like cause
exactly.
and
It's like
stuff.
the
Huh?
promo one, right?
Yeah. If only we knew. We don't know anybody, so we don't know about this.
I once had chicken wings for lunch with Joe Theismann. As close as I got to a pro.
Didn't he throw a ball to you? Did he throw a ball to you?
No, some idiot kid got the ball muddy, and I didn't want to give him a muddy ball because he couldn't catch the ball when I tossed it to him to warm up. I didn't want to give him a muddy ball.
Didn't you eat a ghost pepper that day too?
It's a Carolina Reaper. It's a
you were
spicy one.
you were crying the rest of the
Well,
day.
because I wanted to look tough in front of Joe Theismann because he was talking about he loves hot wings, hot foods. I said, oh, yeah, I can take all the spice in the world. And some jerk across the room comes over with the hottest pepper known to man. And I was like, I can't back down now. I got to eat it. I ate two of them, though.
Why'd
Didn't
you eat
stop at the
two of them?
first one. Didn't stop at the first one just to show, I was committed to that bit. But yeah, that burned. Oh, that burned.
I remember you walking
But
into
I
the
didn't
room.
let Joe see me cry.
No, you didn't let him. You cried for hours. You avoided him till the end of the day. You asked him to throw a ball to you. He didn't do it,
No,
and you
I
cried some
didn't
more.
ask him. I didn't ask because I didn't want to embarrass myself with a muddy ball walking up to him. Anyway,
Anyway, let's stick within division. Do you have anything else to say about the Cardinals? I don't. DeAndre Hopkins promised he was going to save some people's fantasy teams. He did not.
he's on my team.
Did he save it? Did he save your team?
I did win the week. I need a miracle this week
Was
to
it
make the
in
playoffs.
spite of him though?
No, I already had it locked up before his game.
Your
But
team's not
this
already in
week,
playoffs.
no, I'm on the bubble.
How many teams make the playoffs? Four.
It's a 10-team league.
Week.
So I'm in fifth place, but I need a
Okay.
miracle.
What do you,
We won't get into it because nobody in the world cares about my fantasy football team. Nobody cares about anybody else's fantasy football team
no,
other than their own.
that's the
Who
problem with
wants to be
fantasy
one?
football is you can't share it with anybody because nobody cares.
I heard a cool thing though about fantasy football is joint teams. So
Okay, did
like
I tell you this?
I think I told you this.
I think I told you this.
No, I think I sent you the thing and then you saw it.
No, I heard it from my other friends.
Yeah, because you don't read anything I send you.
Yeah, because I'm too busy talking to the other friends.
Let's squabble off the air. But anyway, yeah, if you get a bunch of people involved, like your team is a team decision, then you'll all care. But again, nobody outside your team will give a shit still. Like you can't go to the workplace and start talking about your fantasy football team. But
Yeah, nobody gives a
anyway,
shit.
I'm on the bubble. Let's talk about some of those bubble teams in the
Let's,
NFL.
but first of all, let's stick within division one, and then let's get to the bubble teams because then we kind of got a nice wrap up of the NFC West. But I did like your segue, but then I just totally blew it apart with my own segue, I'm in charge here, right? Is
I
that how
don't
it
think
works?
so. I think it's
No,
you versus me.
that is
Do
whose
you
name
get
is
four
first on the
timeouts
thing.
and I get three? Is that what it works?
Do we each get three? Anyways, the 49ers, who looked really good this weekend, even with Purdy throwing the ball. So the main story I think here is obviously it's Purdy. The Garoppolo hasn't thrown a touchdown pass over 25 air yards this entire year. Purdy threw two on Sunday. So he's slinging it down the field. But I think, again, you could also talk about McCaffrey drastically changing the running game of this team because they've gotten 68 yards per game better
You mean the
since he's
receiving
been
game?
there. Both.
He was a better receiver than anybody on the Bucks.
Well, then, no, for the Bucks stink.
Yeah,
But
but they
let's
have good
talk
receivers.
about the most important thing that happened in this game. Debo Samuel knocking over a cameraman, and then Allen Iverson stepping over top of him.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Allen Iverson, one of my top three favorite basketball players all time. I loved the move. However, it was a bit of a dick move. And
Yeah, because
is
he's just a
that
camera guy.
karma? Is
Oh,
that
Carm,
karma?
because now he's hurt.
Now
Not
he's
from
hurt.
that play.
He's a camera guy. He didn't need to step over the camera guy.
No, the
I
camera guy
mean,
can't
it
get out of the
looked
way.
great. It looked great on
I
video.
noticed it right away, and I'm just shocked that someone didn't say something on the air.
I also noticed it right away because that's just the stupid things we look for.
That's what we look for. That's why we're
Yeah.
watching the games. Now,
Yeah.
do you think he did it because he stepped over him with like a certain charisma?
Oh, he was the same mentality as Iverson. Like
Yeah,
he
like
just
he did it.
scored.
But here's the thing: is Iverson
He
stepped.
did not need to step over him the way he did. He could have gone like, kind of around him, over his legs, but like that full body step over, also the pause before to like look down to
Look
just
down.
step over the
Yeah,
guy to show I'm stepping over you.
yeah, and he high kneed it.
Yeah, no,
That
that
knee
was
got
like
super high
it
as he
was a
looked down.
deliberate step over.
Now, the difference
But
between what he did and what Allen Iverson did is Allen Iverson stepped over Ty Lue, who he
who
just
he
scored
crossed.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Debo did it against just a
A
guy,
cameraman. He
just
did
a
it against a
cameraman,
cameraman, which is
an
shoved
out
out of
of
the way after
shape
he scored a
cameraman.
touchdown.
Yeah. Like that. He apologized today for it. Says he didn't know what he did until he saw the tape, but I call bullshit on that.
Um, I don't know. You're in the zone. Like I don't think he thought. I don't think he like analyzed it the same way we did. He just did it. You're in the
No, for
zone, in
sure.
the moment. You just did it. Like again, he's thinking this is just a collateral damage.
I agree.
Yeah,
But at the same
it's not
time,
like
like,
Devonte Adams shoved the cameraman out of the way.
yeah, that was way worse.
Yeah, this one
Way
was just
worse.
he was already down.
Accidental with a little insult to injuries, all that happened there.
Yeah, he was already down. What am I going to not step over him?
Yeah. I gotta get back over to that field. Now, let's go to your segue. Let's talk about some bubble teams here.
No, 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 no. We got more to talk about on this. Like you brought something up, and then you just want to segue out of it real quick. What did you like? Did you like the Tom Brady thing? Signing the other
Oh
team's
yeah, okay.
football off the
No,
interception? That seems very out of character. But also, at the end of the day, I think we sometimes forget that Tom Brady is still like a kid football fan at heart. Like they showed the footage of him walking through the bowels of the arena, taking photos
early
of
morning. Yeah.
his childhood favorite team, right? Like all the little memorabilia stuff and all that, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I
No.
think
So
he gets it. Like after the end of the game, and it was his fault. He took full responsibility for how poorly they played that game.
which is what a quarterback should do, and he's the
100%.
greatest quarterback of all time.
Take
So he's
notes,
doing what
Zach
he's doing.
Wilson.
Now, screaming and hollering at your teammates on the side of the field, maybe you have to take those because those guys hate your guts. But I mean, at the end of the game, you just take the blame. It kind of helps those guys keep their jobs. But so basically, what happened was Dre Greenlaw from the 49ers intercepted Tom Brady, a rookie corner. And then after the game, went up to him with the ball and asked Tom Brady to sign the ball. Brady did it. I like this move. Like, I like the move to ask him to do it. I could see it going the wrong way. If it was a close game and like an important game, which it kind of was an important game, but it wasn't close at all. And I guess the way you ask, like the intonation in your voice and like how you word it probably goes a long way here in getting a guy like that to sign your ball.
So did you see the footage of after the game, all of the 49ers just drooling over Tom Brady, like Purdy saying, "Oh, is that Tom Brady?" Like everybody just like walking over, like shaking hands. Guys were getting their jerseys autographed by him. He knew George Kittle by name. George Kittle felt so honored, like it looked like on video. But yeah, the guy came up and like
Doesn't everyone know George Kill's name?
no, I'm joking, but he didn't like, he's playing against
Yeah,
Purdy.
yeah, yeah.
He's never met this guy. He didn't come across this guy, right? And a lot of these other guys, rookie, was he a linebacker or cornerback?
He's a
The
corner.
the
Corner.
guy who got the footballer guy. He came up like a fanboy, right?
Yep.
He didn't come up like a cocky strut, like like in your face. I caught this ball. Like he came up sincere and like like I'm a fan. Like I grew up. A lot of these guys, they've watched Tom Brady their entire lives. They're
Yeah.
20 years old. Brady's been in the league over 20 years. Their entire lives they've watched this guy. They're fans, right?
Oh, for sure. I don't know
So
if I think he's
he
been in the
gets
league
it.
18 years, but um, yeah, like they grew up knowing Tom Brady as the greatest of all time. So playing against him is probably a super wicked thing. Now, he could technically play for the 49ers next year.
He could. I mean, I'm hearing rumors he might go back to the Pats. I don't see Belichick liking that. I see Belichick, no, we don't want it. And but I could also see just Robert Kraft welcome him with open arms. They'll throw a parade in Boston. But it also could be just kind of like a retirement move, like I'm ending it here, you know.
I could see Belichick being like, all right, let's give this one more try. It's not working with the other guy.
Yeah, but you bench him in the first 5 minutes, and that'd be, it'd be Brady versus Belichick. 'Cause Belichick's ruthless. He's not, how like the NBA
But
players do that
Brady's
farewell tour?
but Brady's ruthless too. They're the
He is,
same
but
guy.
you know how um the NBA players do the farewell tour?
Yeah.
Football players don't really do that, but I could see Tom Brady kind of doing a thing like that. Like if he doesn't retire in the offseason.
Now, hear me out. I can see him doing it with the 49ers because if they don't want to give Garoppolo a 5-year contract and they have a team that's ready to win now and they don't want to hand it over to Trey Lance, they just give it to Tom Brady wanted to go there to begin with.
Yeah.
So I could see him going to San
Only
Francisco.
X factor in that, and again, this is way too soon to say it. What if Purdy pans out?
Yeah.
He's shown no reason why you can't just keep starting him so far. And again, it's been a game and a half. So
Yeah.
again, we can't jump to too many conclusions here. But I'd love to jump to conclusions. I live for it. I live for it.
That's how we get by here. We say what we want to say and then we forget about it next week and we hope everyone forgets about it so we can talk about new things.
Just a little thing to praise ourselves. I think
Yeah.
we've actually been surprisingly right about a lot of things over the course of the season, which caught me off guard. Like, what the hell do we know about any of this, right?
Well, I do know that if anyone's listened to one episode, they're not going to go back and listen to it again.
No, I
So
don't think
for
we
as
can
far
do
as
that
I'm
on
concerned, we've been
podcasts.
right about everything.
Yeah,
Now let's be right about some more stuff. Let's talk bubble teams. Let's
bubble
talk
teams.
NFC playoffs first. Right now, Eagles 12-1, they're in. Vikings 10-3, most likely in. 49ers 9-4, Buccaneers 6-7. That team will change because the Panthers and Falcons are both 5-8. And one of those three teams has to make the playoffs because they're in the same division and someone has to come out of that division. So they'll be the fourth seed. Right now, it is the Buccaneers, but I have a feeling it's going to be the Panthers instead of the Buccaneers. Sam Darnold's on fire.
Yeah, it's possible. The way the Bucks are playing is not a team that looks like they're going to win. They're kind of doing something like the Raiders. They get one game in, then think, okay, they're turning it around, and then it's just abysmal performances after that again.
Yeah.
They're not throwing away games like the Raiders, but in terms of just winning to give you a little bit of hope that maybe this is the turning point. Because both teams should be better than they are,
Oh, yeah.
and both teams are not.
No, the Buccaneers should be way better. The Buccaneers should be 9-4. They should
Yeah.
be the same as the 49ers. So then the Cowboys are 10-3 in fifth spot. Now, the next three teams. So Eagles will make it because those are your four division leaders right now: Eagles, Vikings, 49ers, Buccaneers. And then you have three wild card teams because only one team, the Eagles, will get a bye. So those right now, those other three teams are all from the NFC East. The Cowboys 10-3, Commanders 7-5-1, Giants 7-5-1. So they're going to start beating up on each other because I believe they all play each other again throughout the next 4 games left. Then you have on the bubble the Seahawks at 7-6, who just lost last Monday night, I believe, or
To
yeah,
your
no,
Carolina
Sunday
Panthers.
night to the Panthers. They lost Sunday afternoon to the Panthers to go to 7-6, knock them out of the playoffs for the time being. And then you have the Lions at 6-7, and the Packers are still hanging around at 5-8. So if the Seahawks play Thursday night against the 49ers, you have to assume that the 49ers are going to win that game. No, it's in Seattle.
Every time I assume this team's going to win the game, they don't. But yeah, I do think the 49ers do win. Their offense is too good with anybody at quarterback,
Yeah.
and their defense is too good against the other quarterback.
Yeah. So if the
So
Seahawks lose, they go to 7-7, which then means that if the Lions win against the Jets this weekend, they will leapfrog the Seahawks and put then the Lions are just one game back of the Giants and the Commanders
Now,
getting into the playoffs, who
if
are
I can
going to
make a
beat up
request,
on
if
each other. Go
I
make a
can make a
request.
request of the listeners, go back to a bunch of the episodes and find the episode where we talked about the 3-win teams. Which one's going to be the hottest? So 3 wins or less teams. And we had the Bears and the Lions. We both kind of settled on. I think moving forward, the Lions will be the hottest team out of all of them.
Yeah.
And that came to fruition. That was true. They're what, 5-1 in their last 6 games?
Yeah. They're on fire right now.
Yeah. So the way they're playing, they very well could be winning out or maybe one more loss or something. It's very possible.
Yeah. They
Finish
so
them
the
with 10 wins, 9 or 10
I
wins,
have them finishing with
9.
9 wins because 10 wins means they win out. I think
Yeah.
that I think so. They got the Jets this weekend. It's in New York. I think they win that game.
They can win that game for sure.
And then I'm trying to bring up their schedule here. Here we go. They got they play the Packers at the last game of the year. I know that. That'll be a huge game. So they got the Jets in New York, and then they got Carolina in Carolina, also a big game that they should win.
Yeah.
Then they got Chicago at home. That
Which
should be
they
a
can
win.
win.
And then it's Green Bay in Green Bay. That could be
That
like
could
that
be the playoff win.
theoretically. That could be with whichever team wins that game goes on to the playoffs.
If you ask me right now, and this is very rare to say, I think I take the Lions making the playoffs over Green Bay. Now, I think it's going to be tough for either one to make it.
Yeah, Green Bay is 5-8. Lions are 6-7.
Yeah, I take the Lions over Green Bay to make the playoffs this year.
Right now, the odds in favor would say that if one of those teams were to make it, it would be the Lions.
Yeah.
Now, if the Lions lose to New York or Carolina or Chicago, and Green Bay wins out, then that January 8th game is for the playoffs. Probably. You still need a lot of things to happen within
Yeah.
Commanders and Giants and Cowboys, but that could technically be a massive circle for all Lions fans everywhere for that game.
Yeah.
And it's in Green Bay. That's tough to go to Green Bay and win. But I think the Lions end up making the playoffs. With the schedule that's left, the Seahawks aren't playing good football right now. The Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, and Eagles are all going to beat up on each other throughout the end of the season.
We should get our intern to pull up the bet stamp odds on the Lions making the playoffs right now.
Well, I can tell you right now that our bet stamp game of the week, I have Lions, Jets, because you can find odds right now for the Lions to win by one if you are looking at Bet365, or you can go to Bet Odds and have the Jets win by one. That's the difference right now is nobody knows who's going to win this game. So it's all over the place at minus 101 for the Lions or minus 109 for the Jets. So like it is all over the place for that game to bet on. You make a lot of money on that game. Lots of money. Let's go to
I
the
mean,
AFC.
I can, but a better better can.
You
Yes,
won't
I
be able
agree.
to. Okay,
No, no,
AFC is a little
a little more sad.
not really, no. It's a little more jumbled up actually. But because like the Buffalo Bills are 10-3, Kansas City Chiefs 10-3,
So Chiefs
Ravens
win their division.
10-3. Yep, Chiefs will win their division.
Cincinnati, who's going to win that division? I think Cincinnati wins that division
I think Cincinnati also wins that division, but right now the Ravens they're both 9-4. Ravens have the tiebreak.
because they beat them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then it's Tennessee Titans 7-6, who I think have just
With
lost like
3 in a row.
3 in a row. So that's not great for them. But there's no
But
one.
there's nobody's going to catch them in that
Yeah,
division.
exactly. There's not really. There's the Jaguars are 5-8, but still you can kind of give it to the Titans
Yeah.
to pull it back together. So right now, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans are the winners of those divisions. Bills get the bye, and then you have the Dolphins at 8-5, and then you have the Jets at 7-6. Those are the 6th and 7th teams that are in the playoff spots right now. Behind them on the bubble, Chargers, Patriots, or Chargers 7-6, Patriots 6-6, Jacksonville Jaguars 5-8. Raiders are technically still in it at 5-8. Browns technically 5-8. Steelers technically 5-8.
So apparently the Bills aren't playing playoff level. They don't have a playoff level offense right now. I
That
was
was one of my
expecting
favorite. That was
I
one
was
of my
expecting you to
favorite.
just say, okay. You butchered that joke.
I did butcher it. You set me up perfectly for it. And that was actually my favorite quote of confident. That's one of those like Michael Jordan, and I took that personally moments, is when the reporter asked Josh Allen, didn't even ask me, he said, well, right now you guys don't look like you're an offense to win the Super Bowl. And Josh Allen just smiled and said, okay.
Well, yeah, it's not a question. It's his statement of his opinion.
Yeah.
And
But still, like
it's an
that's a
irrelevant thing for him. Like, what? Okay, sure, that's your opinion. I don't give a shit. Like, I
I think
don't
it's a
care what you're saying.
I think that's something that's gonna drive Josh Allen to be better though.
That, yeah, I don't think he needs that little motivation from that. I think that's just such
Everybody
a
uses it though. Everyone uses it,
sure, but I
whether
think
you
it's
need it
just
or
it's
not.
an insignificant thing. I think for him, it's and Miami losing this week had a big part in it, but that division's tight still. There's not,
It's super tight still.
yeah.
Like
I
the
Miami could still win that division.
Miami could they yeah, 2 games behind. And I
Yeah,
think that they played the Bills one no, they just played them, right?
no, they didn't play. They played them in the beginning of the season. They beat them. Miami won. They haven't played twice.
Is it this weekend they play?
Could be this week.
Man, we should know this stuff before we go into these things.
Why look at
But
last week's game?
yeah,
Look at the last week's
they
game.
play Saturday night.
Yeah,
Saturday
so
night,
that's
Bills Dolphins. Huge
game of
game.
our week. Game of the
That's
week.
probably the game of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday night.
So yeah, man. So this is the best part about December is now we got game Thursday night. We have a game Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 1:30, Saturday at 5:15 p.m., and then your regular slate of Sunday games. And then you have a Monday night game.
What was the thing you told me the other week about Amazon is introducing another Saturday game?
They're gonna do a Friday game, Black Friday.
Friday game, Black
Yeah,
Friday game.
Black Friday game. Um, okay, so let's talk about a team that could be spoiler for a lot of the teams we just talked about. And that is Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, our best call of preseason because we both love this team. And they could play potentially. So, first of all, Trevor Lawrence hasn't thrown an interception in 5 games. He's looking like a guy. And they face the Cowboys. That's a Cowboys need to win to keep that wild card spot. There's too many teams that are trying to get that spot. Then they play the Jets. The Jets need to win, keep that wild card spot because that one more loss and they're going to give it up to the Chargers. And then they play the Texans. Nobody gives a shit. Texans stink. And then they play the Titans at the end of the season. Titans, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, could actually, if they have some upsets here and win these, they could take over that Titans spot, and the Titans could fall right out of the playoffs, and Jacksonville could make the playoffs.
For sure. That's a big ask, though.
Yeah, but I feel like if you put like $10 on that, you could probably get good odds. You check
I'll
out your
give you
bet
the 10
stamp.
bucks.
Check
I'll
out your
give you the
bet.
10 bucks.
Check out your bet stamp app. See where you can get the best odds for that.
I'll transfer you 10 bucks right now. Put it on.
And you put it on the Jaguars to make the playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like it win the division. The Titans stink right now.
They do stink.
That's like this
They
Jack.
are these Titans are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
If Derrick Henry doesn't do anything, nothing happens.
and the Jaguars Titans game for the last game of the year could be as important as a potential Lions Packers game to get into the playoffs. Setting up for a good last week of of NFL regular season here.
Yeah.
If things go as planned. Okay, let's talk quickly about 3 things. And then we'll get into this week's upcoming games.
Okay. Can I bring one up?
Yeah.
We've talked about it a lot with the Tua thing at the beginning of the season. We've mentioned it a little bit throughout. Does the NFL at all care about the safety of their players? You saw
Well,
that clip of Nelson Aguilar
screaming
catching.
at the referees.
Yeah, he's the only one that's catching this guy hurt, and he's not known for catching anything. And how is he the guy that catches this? Devontae Parker is
Why'd you
clearly rattled. He's got his bell rung, woozy as all hell. and I gotta keep saying things until you stop laughing so you can make a response. But
Why
he's the
did
only
you?
guy trying to like he's demanding they stop the play. And look at this guy. And obviously the refs. I don't know what the refs' instruction is about concussion protocols. Are they part of it? But there's a concussion guy there apparently that's supposed to be watching this.
There's supposed to be a concussion guy at every NFL game
Yeah,
that's supposed to look at these players, get up, and there's always a monitor on the guy carrying the ball, get up. And Devontae Parker, eyes back of his head,
for sure.
trying to stand up, and they're trying to do a no huddle. So they're trying to go
It was
back
a
to that line.
lineman that picked him up, right?
Yeah, someone
He
picked him
didn't
up,
get up. A
put
lineman
him
picked him up.
put him in a spot, and then Nelson Aguilar had to start screaming at the
Yeah,
referees to be like, "Stop the game! This guy is clearly concussed." So here's my conspiracy theory: he's not a quarterback,
sure,
so they don't give a fuck.
sure.
He's not a quarterback. We don't
He's
care.
not a name. He's
This
not a named guy.
all we're trying to do is protect the quarterbacks. We don't give a shit
We're trying to
about
put it.
linebackers
Yeah,
hitting themselves in the head. We don't give a shit about fullbacks trying to open up block and holes in the linemen. Like it's just a wide receiver. Who cares? There's 8 of them on the team.
yeah,
That's
very
what
well,
my conspiracy theory is because
very
he was
well
out
could be.
cold. He was out
No,
cold.
the cameras showed him like he had to get another guy to pick him up. He
Yeah,
couldn't get up on his own, you know, will. Like he's
yeah,
that's the thing of like protecting a player who's he's not in a position to protect himself at that point. He can't
right.
stand up.
Yeah.
You
I
shouldn't
don't.
be in a football game if you can't stand up.
I don't know why you needed to shit all over Nelson Aguilar there though.
I'm trying to make some jokes, you know. It's like we can't talk too much football. I'm trying to get some jokes in here, you know. My stand-up career is not going too well. Nobody comes to my shows.
Speaking of concussions, Russell Wilson died this weekend.
It's over.
Yeah.
We're done. We're free.
Did you see him get smoked?
I missed that one.
Oh my
Working
God.
all weekend. I barely caught anything.
He got to it. Like his brain hit the ground and everybody on the field started screaming at the um
Concussion guy.
concussion guys to stop the game like he got. And then he was out for the rest of the game. But is there any reason they say he's feeling better now, but is there any reason to start him? You got Brett Rippon that would start in place of him. Why play Wilson? Like as a coach, you're probably going to get fired. Like Nathaniel Hackett's probably going to get fired after this year. So wouldn't it make more sense to just play with Rippon, maybe win 2 or 3 games, and maybe
Try to
save your
save your
job
job.
saying it's like it was actually Russell Wilson who stinks, not me?
Yeah, it's also just like is a humanitarian. The guy is hurt. You should let him rest for a week. Like
Just
you're not playing
give
for
him a
anything.
break. Give him a break.
He's getting his paycheck.
Yeah.
It's not working out. Give him a rest. Take some heat off him. Let him like mentally regroup, gain some confidence or something. I don't know what it is. Like it hasn't worked out with him. I was
No.
actually surprised they put up that many points this weekend.
Shocked. Shocked.
Yeah,
Absolutely shocked. But I mean, I feel like when they go into the dressing room tomorrow and they see Russell Wilson eating that Subway foot long in the middle like a piece of corn on the
dangerous,
cob, then
dangerous. Let's ride.
that'll be the end of him. You
Yeah,
ruined
he's
my
too
joke.
cringy.
You
He's
talked
gotten
in
so cringy.
you talked in the middle of my joke there. You son of a bitch. Micah Parsons says that Jalen Hurts isn't all that great, and it's the team that is making him look good. Is this just a defensive player in a divisional rivalry talking shit, or is that a legit comment?
It's a divisional rivalry to try and bring down
I
that's
agree.
if he was in the AFC, if he was in the AFC South and they never played him, he wouldn't even say anything. He doesn't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just him trying to
It's a
stir some
divisional
stuff up.
rivalry. That's all it is. That's
I
all
think
it
it's
is.
going to backfire. Jalen Hurts MVP this year. I think it's going to backfire,
Yeah, I think it does. It's a cocky move to add fuel to the fire, right? Like that
especially
cameraman.
when they're the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Why say anything?
Yeah.
Don't poke the bear. Okay, let's go to this weekend's games.
I thought we had three things. You had a third thing.
That was 4 things we just talked about.
I feel like a lot of them were interrelated. Anyway, okay. Weekend's games.
That's how good hosting is done. You interrelate things, you keep it going.
But
You
when
keep
I
moving.
try to do it,
Say
you
one thing and
kibosh me.
move.
That's why I talk through
Say
your
one thing
jokes.
and move. This is my show.
I don't think it is your show. Isn't it our show? I
Yeah,
was
but
told in the beginning it's our show. You
whose
just do
name?
the intro because I'm never with it.
I feel like whoever does the intro, that's whoever's show it is that week.
I'm gonna try to do the intro again next week.
Well, you hear just as when you know when the recording, the red light's blinking. You know it just as much as I do. I just the one who starts talking
I
first.
just have more courtesy. That's all.
Courtesy's never gotten anyone anywhere.
No,
This
but
is
the
a
lack
slow
of courtesy
spike.
also doesn't get me anywhere either. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Anyway, the weekend's games. We went over the game of the week.
Always wanting to start with game of the week, which is presented to us by BetStamp. Like always, BetStamp is your one-stop shop for line shopping, bet tracking, and sports betting odds. You would never just go with the first price if you were shopping for flights. So why settle for the first odds you find when betting? BetStamp changes that. The streamlined and easy-to-use app allows you to find a wide spectrum of odds for any bet. Then it makes it easy to track your bets in one place. You can set alerts in case the line changes and learn what bets your friends and even some celebrity bettors are making. Bills in Buffalo, they are 7.5 point favorites. That seems I don't think they cover that. But also it's gonna be like very cold.
What's the over under on the point spread there? Total points there.
41.5.
41.5.
It's like a 23-20 type game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold, possibly snow. Miami doesn't like it when it's cold
They
because
don't
they
like when
have
it's cold.
um so I'd say I would go Buffalo, but I don't think it's going to be by more than 7.5.
No.
Miami's very good. Okay, so Thursday night we got Seahawks 49ers. Now all Lions fans are going to be watching this game. 49ers, 3.5 point favorites in Seattle.
I think the 49ers win. I
Yes.
think Brock Purdy wins out the season. No, I think it's a little more. I got to look at their matchups, but I think it's possible with that team. How well all the skill players are playing right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything except give them the ball.
Yet he did enough. He's in both games he's played. He's
Did
done
more.
something too.
Like I said, over two touchdown passes of 25 or more air yards. Has
Grabbed
not
one
been
for
done yet.
himself too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Saturday night games, the 10 a.m. game, Vikings, Colts,
Meaningless for the Colts are going
meaningless for
nowhere.
for the Colts. So Vikings 4.5 point favorites, probably, yeah, they win.
Yeah.
1:30 game. Now this is West Coast time for all you people listening on the East Coast. So you can find out your own goddamn times. We do not care over here on the West Coast. We do not care. I have stopped caring about your East Coast times. Don't care. 1:30 p.m. Browns, Ravens. Browns are 3 point favorites in this game.
Yeah, I can see that. Ravens have fallen apart. They're not
I
going
think
in.
the Ravens still win. They got J.K. Dobbins back. They just run it down Browns' throats. It's gonna be a blue collar game. One of those like low scoring.
That division, I find that the divisional matchups in that division are usually the tightest, in my
Oh yeah,
opinion.
oh yeah. They just beat each other up. They don't care about playing
Just beat
football. They're
each other
throwing
up.
punches.
Just beat each other. One time I watched a guy take another guy's helmet and try and kill him with it.
And then
Doesn't
the
happen
it
often, but
doesn't
it
happen often.
happens.
When it does, it's in that division.
Yeah.
We just talked about Buffalo, Miami. That's the 5:15 p.m. game on Saturday night. So then Sunday we got a big division game. Commanders versus Giants. This is one of those games where I said those two teams are going to be just beating up on each other to end the season. And one of them is going to fall out of wild card spot. This is the Commanders versus the Giants. Commanders are it's in Washington. The Commanders are 4 point favorites. That's 5:20 p.m. on Sunday night. That's the night game Sunday. That's a good night game. But last time they played, it was pretty boring. So they tied as well.
They did tie. Now,
So
what
do
if
we
they
get a?
tie again? Is it possible? Have you ever seen the team have two ties in a season?
I haven't no, but I was wondering what the tiebreaker would be for that. Then if they're moving, I guess it would be 1-1. So whatever it normally is,
Yeah.
division record probably.
Does
Um,
this game matter at all?
this game matters
Bengals
100%.
Bucks. No, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask. Bengals Bucks.
Oh
As
yeah, the
Bengals
Bengals the
just
Bengals need to win.
yeah for them to win the division, but
Yeah, the Bengals need to win. Well, no, this game matters. It's huge. Both these teams
it's
need to win.
huge. But I mean, like, doesn't matter in the sense of, do you think the Bucks have what it takes to compete with the Bengals, who are hot right now,
No,
and the Bucks are just cold as ice?
it's in Tampa. Bengals are 4 point favorites, but I mean, I feel like the Bengals should be 10 point favorites.
That's what I mean. Like, I think they're a little outclassed right now. The way that Tampa's playing,
Yeah, I think I mean,
Bengals are
the
hot. Bengals are hot.
sure for sure, and the Bucks are ice cold.
Yeah,
I think the Bucks got to win this game ice cold, even though they've won like 3 of the last 4 or three of the last four, but still they're not playing good football. They're just squeaking out wins.
Uh,
I think Bengals win. I
I
think
think Bengals win too.
yeah. Hopefully
Now,
it's
where does that put the other guys in the division?
well, it'll
Falcons and Saints are playing each other.
Falcons Saints.
So,
Yeah, so that's also like Falcons need to win if they want to stay in contention with the Bucks.
yeah. And then Pittsburgh's playing Carolina, who Pittsburgh's kind of won a couple in the last few weeks. I don't think Pittsburgh's a threat to anybody, but they could definitely be a spoiler for some teams.
Also, Kenny Pickett got hurt, so I don't know if Trubisky's playing or if Pickett's playing this week. It's too early to tell. It's only Tuesday right now when we're recording this.
Yeah.
But right now, Panthers are 2.5 point favorites. I think the Panthers win, and I think the Falcons win those games. Falcons also switched. Marcus Mariota's out, and they're
It was
starting Desmond
inevitable.
Ritter.
It was
So
inevitable.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, it could go either way. Could go either way. But that does mean the Bucks Bengals game is important.
I'm taking the Steelers, though. I think the Steelers win that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got no
Stay in the
faith.
playoff hunt themselves.
No, they are not in playoff odds. They're
They're
spoiled.
not out yet.
They're not
Uh,
out. Statistic.
Bears, Eagles, that game doesn't really matter. Eagles will crush the Bears. It's over. Jaguars, Cowboys. Huge game.
My other question to you is this: do you think the Eagles rest starters at some point?
Yeah, the last game of the year.
Last game, just the last game.
Just the last game.
They don't give a shit. They'll throw the game. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, they don't give a
But
damn. As long as they get that first round bye.
yeah, which I think they will. Nobody else is really looking as dominant as them, and
Yeah, no, they
strength
pretty
of
much so.
schedule means something for them. They don't really have Dallas Cowboys. They play at one time. I think that's kind of their biggest threat.
Yeah. I mean, unless the Vikings could take that number one spot from them, but they won't.
Well, the
Okay, then
Vikings
we
have
got
fallen apart a little bit.
Vikings. That's because they don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
But we already
Jaguars,
came up.
Cowboys. Lions fans are also cheering for the Cowboys, or sorry, the Jaguars here.
Yeah.
And I hope they win. Cowboys are 5 point favorites. Games in Jacksonville. Would love to see Jacksonville beat the Cowboys. Would love to see it.
Yeah.
Jets, Lions. Now, depending on again, like we said at BetStamp, depending on where you're looking, you can get different lines for the Lions Jets game, whether it's -1 or yeah, it's a 1 point or 2 point swing.
Okay.
Steelers, Panthers. We just talked about Chiefs,
I
Texans.
got
That
one for
game
you.
does not matter.
The
Yeah, go.
Titans, Chargers.
Yeah,
For
huge
our
game.
Jaguars to make that division win, we need your Chargers to win. And I think your Chargers can beat the Titans for sure.
I think
For
the
sure
Chargers,
they can beat them. I
especially
think,
because the
in fact,
Titans.
they do beat them.
Yeah, it's in Los Angeles. Titans fans, I don't think travel very well, so it might actually be LA fans, but
Yeah.
they're actually in LA, which is odd to say, but hasn't happened lately.
Our
I think
Monday night
Titans
game.
thing, all they have to do is stop Derrick Henry, and the Chargers defense is pretty good up front.
It is.
So I
Our,
think the Chargers win as well. They're 3 point favorites.
our Monday night game. It's got the reigning NFL MVP and the current quarterback MVP of the second half of the last Thursday night game. The Rams and the Green Bay Packers.
That
I was digging for something to come up with them, but there's
it's
nothing
in
to say for the Rams. It's in Green Bay.
it's in
Is this
Green
an
Bay.
exciting game?
No,
Because
only
I
if the
think
Rams win.
scheduling, I think when they were scheduling, these two
They thought,
teams looked a lot better on paper,
yeah,
and now they're just both kind of busts.
garbage.
And the Green Bay game's not exciting this year.
No,
The Rams, the game was exciting the last 3 minutes. It's a lot of football to watch, unexcited.
yeah, and it's in Green Bay. Like, it's tough to
It's
go
gonna be
in Green Bay. It's gonna
cold.
be very cold. It's gonna be
Yeah.
very cold. But Baker did play in Cleveland for a while, so who
If
knows?
oh yeah, if Baker has a good game, do you think he's sticking around next year?
I think he'll be on a team next year.
On the Rams, I'm saying. He'll get signed. He'll be a backup somewhere for sure. He's not
Yeah,
getting kicked out of the
I
league.
mean, if he does this well, the Rams could sign him. It just depends how much money he's gonna want. So I don't think the Rams have it. And a team might sign him if he does well this rest of this year. A team might sign him and be like, "Hey, you have a chance to be a starter." Whereas in LA, I think Stafford's the starter.
If he comes back,
If
if
he
he
goes,
heals up, right?
that's true. He's got a lot of injuries. He's a tough kid though.
He is a tough guy, but eventually, like your body just shatters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
It's not my call. It's your show. So what do you want to finish off on?
I think that as a Lions fan, we are rooting for the Seahawks Thursday night. We are rooting for doesn't matter. We just need someone from the Giants and Commanders to lose. And we're rooting for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Any AFC to beat any NFC. That's what we go for now.
That's what we go for.
We're AFC fans.
Always. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We will catch you on the opposite side of this weekend. Remember, there's football Thursday night, which is tonight. There is football Saturday all day, Sunday all day, and Monday night. We've gotten into the best part of the season where there's football 4 days a week. Enjoy. We will see you next week. Running Down the Clock is brought to you by the Ordinary Podcast Network and is every Thursday running until the week after the Super Bowl. We hope you enjoyed enough to subscribe and tune in again next week.